welcome.
Perfect.
I'm going to share my screen and, oh, wait. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
I don't trust you. No, I don't know why that did that. Okay, I'm going to make you the host. Change host.
There you
Now
go.
you're not just a co-host, you're the host.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
A lot of pressure.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to start first with my email. So this is the email that I got from John in December. So something that I did, just quick tip here, I labeled it as just website, or I made a label called website so that I can just find it super easy when I go into my emails. There's just a pro tip there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the admin portal. So we'll start there. So I'll click on that. And, oh gosh, why? And it.
You're already signed in.
Yep.
Oh,
so am
sign
I?
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
so
sorry, everybody.
Yes. Sign out.
There
and
we
then,
go. Sorry, I couldn't see that. All right. So it brings me here. I'm going to sign in. Thank you. I've got the Zoom call, the humans all up there in the right corner. So it brings me here. As you can tell, I have added 2 projects already, and I've added an event, but I'm actually going to go into my event. I'm going to delete it. So you guys can just truly be freshly here, because this is what you're going to see on your end. And I'll go into my projects, and there's no projects there because those projects were attached to that event. So this is probably what you're seeing on your end. There's nothing there at all. Now, before we go into adding any person, any project, anything like that, I actually have found it simpler to start with my settings. And because your settings on the back end are going to affect how you add a contact or how you add a project. And so we're going to start with settings, and I'm not going to walk through every single one of them, but I am going to choose a few that will be important to you guys. And so first I am going to go into affiliations. And so as you can tell, I've added a couple already. So these are churches in our area. But I'm going to add one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write right here, Cascade Covenant. I'm just going to hit add. So that is that's a church in our area. So for you guys, it's truly as simple as that, just adding it in, typing it in. And so that is how you add an affiliation for someone when they are going to create their contact, or when you create a person in your database. So now I'm going to go back up to settings, and I'm going to go into contact custom fields. So this is when somebody creating their contact. And so these are just truly the custom fields that we are wanting. So we'll want their name, their email, their date of birth, their gender, and their ethnicity. And so you can go into the edit button here. And what that does is you can either change the title, so you can put like first and last name, and then you can toggle whether it's required or not. So I'm going to update that, and you'd see that come up there in first and last name. The other thing is what I noticed is something a little funny so I'm going to go into ethnicity here, and you'll see that for ours, we don't have it required. So I toggled that off. So that was just kind of a decision that we made. You guys can make your own decision on that. But some pages
Hey,
that
and
you,
let me, hey
yes,
Danielle, let me say this. The reason
sorry.
why we have it on there is just for grant applications. A
Yeah,
lot of grants
yep,
are wanting, the breakdown
yep,
of the volunteers, but I get it too. It's a sensitive
yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we do it because we want to have grants if we can.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but so yeah, total freedom
no,
for anyone to do what they want
yep.
to do.
Also, if I'm going too fast, I'm gonna talk a lot. So I'm trying, so if I'm talking too fast, just let me know. If you need me to slow down, just interrupt me at any point. But so what I did is I went into the edit here with ethnicity. And the reason I brought that up is because when I first logged on, the items in this box were all in one list, just split up by a comma. And so what you actually will need to do is make sure that it's different lines. So in order for it to actually toggle, and I've had a meeting with John before this, so anything funky that you might see, I've talked to him already about it. But that is something that you'll need to either fix or just make sure is everything's on separate lines there when it comes to a drop down box. So I'll update that. So there any questions?
Quick question. So
Yeah.
who are these contacts? These are team members, volunteers, or project leaders, or
So
who are
this
these?
would, right. So this would be anybody that is added to the database. So essentially it could be a project leader, but it truly is every individual that is added into your, so Love Milpitas database.
So is there the field that identifies kind of function like a volunteer team member, project leader, anything like that?
Yes, we will get that. That is in individuals field, I guess. So we'll get to that.
Okay, thank you.
So that we can, yep, absolutely. So we've customized this and how I want it to look. If you wanted to add something else, so let's say you wanted to do another drop down, you can click on that drop down and then just add another field, and then it would show up there in the list.
How did you
But
do that again, please?
So I went over here and then I
okay.
just clicked on it, clicked on drop down, and it added it.
Okay, got it.
And that could be for anything. Like, let's say I wanted to do a drop down for is your spouse, I don't know what drop down for your favorite color or something stupid. Like you can add that. But I feel like this is kind of the essentials that you need: your name, your email, your birth, your gender, and your ethnicity. So we've customized that. And now I want to go back up into settings, and I am going to go actually into the email settings. And so what this will do is, so when somebody either creates an account or even just kind of sends an email here, you can change kind of just what the email message to them is going to say. And so what I've done is I've made sure that all submissions are sent to me, and you can change that. And and then what I've done is I've just created the email message when they hit submit. And I said, thank you for creating an account. Be sure to check out all volunteer opportunities. And you can say whatever you want. You can say you'll be hearing you'll be hearing from us, anything really that you want. And so and as you can see, so there's two different messages. So there's one when someone creates an account here, and then one when someone actually signs up for a project. And so that's where I have it written here. Thanks for signing up. You'll be hearing from Love SV and or your project leader soon. And then I've got our logo there, which is already, should be already in your system, actually. Does that make sense so far, everybody? I know
So
I'm just walking through it, but
so everybody who's going to receive this email is going to be in the first field.
yes, when they create an account, or no,
Right there.
do you mean up here? Yes.
Yeah, so you have a multiple rows.
Yes. So this right here is, so when someone creates an account and when someone registers for a project, I am getting all of those
I see.
emails sent
Okay.
to me. Okay. Then I'm going to go into settings again, and I'm going to go into team members and permissions. And so this would be, so right now I'm the only contact in our system right now. But this would be, so if someone is within your contacts and you wanted to make them a city leader, if you wanted to make them kind of just in charge of the back end or the website, have control of all of that, you would add them here. And so you'd type, oh, thank you, John. So I think John added himself to here, so I can do a test run here. So I would just type that person. So, and then I would just choose, okay, I want to make them a city admin. I want to make them a website manager, a backend manager, or just a team member. And a team member just kind of being like administration, someone just kind of on your board, being able to see things, but not necessarily edit wild things. And then another
I have
place.
a quick question. So
Yeah.
if I were to add a few more people to do this web management, admin.
Yes, you would
So
do it here.
Yeah, okay, website manager. So they
Yes.
don't have to use my ID password to
Correct.
get in. They can
No.
use their own.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm actually done for now, kind of working through those settings. You should be pretty set on a lot of the things, as far as now we can move to a project and move to feeling pretty confident in doing that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to manage projects. We're going to create an event. And so this would be something like your big volunteer day. And so I'm going to add and fill in everything right here. So Love Snoqualmie Valley Volunteer Day. I'm just going to say the date is March 21st at 8 a.m. But I want to open registration. Let's just do it today. And we'll close registration on March 22nd, because if someone wants to sign up that morning, they can. And then our address, it's not actually my home address, don't worry. And you can decide if you want to just have this as a draft right now and not publish it anywhere, or you can publish it, which means it would show up on your front end. And so right now I am going to choose to publish it, just so you guys can see. And I'll kind of toggle in a minute. I'll start toggling in between our website, our front end website, and then this page here, or the city admin. So I'm going to add event. So now we have our event. It's ready. Yay. We can start adding to it. So what we're going to do is actually go into projects here. Actually, before I do that, one thing that is coming in the future would be the ability to kind of add like monthly events. And so kind of having it toggled as an event for just the month of January or the month of February. And therefore you're kind of able to just add a little bit more. But right now we're just at this level here with our volunteer day. And so now we've got our volunteer day event, and we're going to go into projects here. So as you can see, we are toggled already into this specific event. If you had multiple events, you'd have to click. So there would be one here or another there, and you'd have to toggle in between them. But right now, just because there's one, we're there. So we are under this umbrella event.
Hey, Danielle.
Yes.
Danielle, quick question. If you
Yep.
have multiple events, do they all show, and they're all published? Do they all simultaneously show up on the front end?
If you have published, I'm pretty
If
sure
there's
they
two
do.
events, like, yeah, so they're going, one's Saturday, one's Monday, one's a Friday or whatever.
They
Okay.
should, yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think
Yep.
under the projects page, you get like a button like that for every event. And when you click on that event, you see the projects for that event across the top. So you can toggle between them, as I recall.
So let's just see. So let's go into, oh, it may have, there's no project, sorry. Because I have nothing displayed right now. I
Right,
deleted
yeah.
my projects. Yes. Okay.
Did you delete them, or are they still hanging around somewhere just waiting to be assigned to an event?
No, I deleted them so that you could just be on the, they were fake anyways. They were test ones. So don't worry. But so now we're in manage projects. We're in the project category here, and we're going to add a project. So this plus button there. Now I'm going to, our river clean, it needs some cleaning over here in Snoqualmie. And so what I'm going to do, it's probably physical labor. So again, it's just kind of these drop downs here. Let's say it's going to last 3 hours. And this would be where you could toggle in between all of those events that you have. And so in this case, we just have one, which is our big volunteer day. And I want to display that information on our project page. And then I'm just going to add the address. And this is where you'd want it to be as specific as possible, because obviously you want people to show up at your projects. And then I want the location to display on our project page. So that's when someone goes into they're looking to sign up for a project. Some people will wait to display that if they don't want it up. But I usually will just display it so that it's always up and people know where maybe they need to park or how far they need to take the bus if they want to sign up for that project. And so I'll display it. And then how many volunteers? Let's just say we want 10 volunteers for that project. And we want to open this today. And then I'm going to go through. This river's pretty high, so I'm actually going to say it's no to family friendly. No, but I could do some middle school, high schoolers. Probably a little hard to get to the bank. And then, so anonymous registrations, that is, let's say Sally signs up and she wants to bring her friend. And rather than having to create that contact right then and there, because she texted her friend and said, you want to join me on this project? And they said, sure. And rather than saying, okay, can you send me your address and your email and all of your information? She can just say, we can say, yes, we allow anonymous registrations. And therefore we'll just have the allotted amount of people, and her friend would have to then create an account later on and sign the waiver. But this is just kind of to help promote, bringing friends along or bringing family along, and trying to get as many people involved as possible. And that is totally up to you. If you don't want to allow anonymous registrations, then you don't have to. And then, but I'm just going to put a limit on it and say, I just want five anonymous registrations as my allotment there. And then you can describe the project. I'm just going to say, come clean the river bank with us. Obviously, you can go as little or as much description there. And then you can add a photo as well to your project. And so I'm going to choose a file, and I have already put it on my desktop so that I can bring it in. I'm going to upload it. There you go. And then this here is your status. So if you want it to just kind of be behind the scenes for now, and you can publish it later, but I'm going to choose to publish it so that we can see that on the front end there. So add project. And it's going to bring you to your river cleanup project. So as you can see, here's the 10 volunteers. There's the categories. I said it's senior high friendly and junior high friendly. There's the location there, the project description. And then if I needed to, I could toggle over here and edit the project. And from here, I can, oh, my computer has frozen, 1 second. Gonna refresh. Over here, you can assign volunteers, you can assign a sponsor, email leaders, email volunteers, sorry, and do pretty much all the specific things that you would want to do within the project. And so I'm going to show you how you can assign a volunteer here. So I just clicked on assign volunteer, and I'm going to go click on Snow Valley Test and say, and choose whether they're a volunteer or whether they're a project leader. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to assign Snow Valley as a project leader. And this is something John and I are kind of toggling on and talking about, is being able to kind of customize this a little bit more, to be able to have even some better questions as you assign volunteers, and things like that. And so this, I'm gonna note here that it is physical labor and not family friendly. And so I'm gonna assign the volunteer. And you will see that they showed up. Yay. And so you can assign a sponsor as well. So let's say the bank decided that they wanted to sponsor, or in our case, so I'm going to click on that and go into sponsors. Oh, actually, yes. So I'm going to say that our I-90 church decided to sponsor this river cleanup. And you will see that it shows up as sponsored by I-90 Community Church. What I forgot to do is show you sponsors. So I'm going to show you that as well. So back in settings, in sponsor levels. Oh no, not sponsor levels. No, sponsors. Sorry, sponsors. Okay, so you can see that the two, I had added two already, but I'm going to add another one just to show you guys. So again, we're in sponsors. I'm going to hit the plus sign, and this is Dirtfish. You can add their website. You don't have to, but sometimes they really enjoy that. And so you can kind of help with the marketing, the publicity there. And then choose the level of their sponsorship. So I had a question this past week on kind of how to use this, and that really depends on how your city wants to use it. So like I know Modesto, they go all out and use all of these. Whereas like right now with Love SV, we currently are just kind of using annual sponsors, and then we have sponsors who just sponsor the event and not necessarily kind of at the different levels. And so this just depends on how you want to use the sponsorship levels. And so what I'm going to do is say Dirtfish is an event sponsor. And they have already paid, they've given, they're set to go. And then I'm going to put their logo in here. And so I'm going to go to choose file. And again, I've just kind of saved that already on my desktop so I can bring it in here, and going to upload it. It's ready to go. Add sponsor. So you guys can see they are in here. They're on the sponsorship there. And so if we go back to the projects, and let's say the river cleanup. So if I want to edit this, if I want to click on it, I have to click this magnifying glass here. And let's say that Dirtfish wants to also sponsor the river cleanup. Go into assign sponsors, and now Dirtfish, assign sponsor. And they are sponsored there. Actually don't know, John, if he's in there, can you have two sponsors? So I'm seeing this where I-90 went away. And so that is something.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
we have it just set. There's just one sponsor per project.
Okay. Is
John, is there any way we could increase that? 'Cause I know we had up to 3 last year on some projects.
Yeah, yeah, I'll put it on the list. It should be fine. It'd just be adding them versus overriding.
Okay.
So it should
Okay,
be
thank you.
should be fine. Yeah.
cool. Cool. So we have a project. Now, what I want to do though, is I want to feature this project. And so what you will find on your front end, so I'm gonna go in here. So I'm on my home page of Love Snoqualmie Valley, and what I have here, oh no, I don't, because I have other projects. Sorry. See, it's a learning curve for me, everybody, as well. So we can see that I have the river cleanup here. But I had to click on the view all projects. And so what I want to do though, is in this blank space, I have a content builder that is just for featured projects. And so right now, none of the projects or that project is not featured. So there's nothing showing up here. So I'm going to go back into my admin portal, and I'm going to feature this project. And by doing so, I'm going to hit this star. So now it's a featured project. And I'm going to go back to my homepage, going to refresh it, and fingers crossed. There it is. So now it's a featured project. I know it worked. It's a featured project, and it shows up in that blank space there. And so as you could tell, when it was not featured, it didn't show up. And you can change that around on your front end, where if you wanted just all projects, or featured, however you want. Yes, Carrie.
Yes, I just want to share a tip that John gave
Yeah.
us that
love it.
might save you a lot of frustration. When you are entering your logos for your sponsors, They're
Yes.
going to basically spread to the maximum width that they can fill. So if
Okay.
you have if you have a sponsor like yours are kind of horizontal sponsors.
Mhm.
If you have a vertical sponsor, it's going to look really big next to all of your other little horizontal sponsors.
Okay.
So in order to control this, and this was a really great tip that John gave us, he said, create like a white box. If you have like, like with Photoshop or some image editing, have like a fixed size white box and size all of your logos into that white
Mm.
box before you upload them, and then you can control how they basically appear on your page. And that will save you a lot of frustration in the long
That
run. Thank
is
you for
very
that
smart.
tip, John. That was a really good one.
John's pretty good at what he does.
Yeah.
Cool. No, thank you, Carrie. That was good. I didn't know that. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Otherwise you get some sponsors that get really,
Yep.
very
No,
prominently
they stretched
displayed.
out. Mhm.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Okay.
This is Nancy. I have an event and I have
Yeah.
a test project, and I showed it as a released project.
Mm-hmm.
It still doesn't show up on the portal page, on our page,
On this page, on the back
On
end
our-
portal page.
on the front end for
Okay.
what the user would see.
And do you have it featured?
Yes.
Okay.
And when
Then-
I click on projects, it doesn't show up.
Interesting. John, do you have any idea why that would be?
Yeah, I'm just looking up her settings
Okay.
that she has on that project.
It's just the one that's called test project.
Yeah. So so not only do your projects have to be published, your events have to be published. So it looks like your event is in draft mode.
Got it. Okay.
So, an event.
Yep.
Making,
So just editing that to update the status.
so it'd make sure
Yeah.
that it was published here. Okay. Nancy,
Yay.
did
Yay.
that work?
I got to get to the right
No,
page.
you're good. Awesome.
Yes, it worked.
Yay.
Thank you.
Sweet. You're welcome. Okay, so we've added an event, we've added a project, suggested projects. So this is, so let's say, I'm just gonna add one here. We are gonna, what was the other test? Oh, tree planting. Yeah, put this in the neighborhood. That's fun. 3 hours. Add the address. I want it to display again. So this is someone coming in and saying they've either emailed you and suggested it, like just kind of offshoot there, or on your front end page someone had suggested a project, and so it would, this information here they would have to fill out, and so I want registrations to open today. This is family friendly, even little kid friendly. Gonna go through, toggle all of these. I'm gonna say no to anonymous registrations right now, and then come plant trees. I know it's a great description, but I think it's good. I'm gonna choose a file here and upload it here, update project. And, oh, is it because I already published it? I think that's why, actually. Why it's not showing up here, because I clicked on publish. So I'm gonna go back into here. I won't add it all, but because I displayed it.
Oh, I can edit there.
Go. Okay. So this is where though you would toggle in a project that came in, and you could say publish it or not publish it. And then it would show up in your projects. Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't know why. I don't know where it went.
The same thing is happening with me. I have suggested
Interesting.
projects, they don't show up.
Oh dear.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna move on and then go back to that. But so what I want to do is I want to go into all contacts here. And so this is where all of your contacts show up. And so let's say you want to add someone. So you'd hit this plus button that down there, and you're just gonna go through and fill out this information. And now if you notice, this information is all from when we went and edited that contact custom field. It's the same things that we have here. And then when we edited our affiliations, sorry, my browser is just funny because it's not full. We added the affiliations there, and those show up. There's that new one that I added with you guys, Cascade Covenant. And so what I would do is I would go through, I'd fill it all in, and then hit add contact, and they would show up right there. And you can edit, you can manage that person. So let's say I want to edit Snow Valley. I can edit any of that information that was given. Let's say they had a typo, or they wanted to add their phone number later on. We can add that in there. Or hey, let's say we want to see what projects they're on. Oh, look, do you remember when we signed them up for the river cleanup and made them the project leader? We can see that they have signed up for the river cleanup project. And so that is a way to kind of just toggle through your contacts, either add someone, or let's say you want to send an email or a text message to, let's just say, all of your contacts. And you can click on that send email button, and here again you can toggle if you just want to send an email to just the leaders. So if I clicked on that, it would just be the Snow Valley test contact that we created. Or you just wanted to send to an individual, you can choose which individual you want to send that email to. And then it would just write like an email. Does that make sense? I know I'm doing all the simple things, but this is very helpful to me even.
Couple of questions right there. Can you
Yeah.
go in and see the emails that have been sent?
Yes. So if you go to settings and email log,
Okay.
that's where, so these are all the test ones. But so this email log, you can see which emails have been sent. And even down to when, so in settings, when we did the email settings and we changed that message to thanks for signing up, or thanks for, good, thanks for being here. We're excited to have you, sort of thing. That you can see that actually sent to the Snow Valley test. You've been registered for cleanup. You've been added as a city admin, your new volunteer account. So all of that you can actually see, and you can also resend it. Let's say someone can't find an email, you can resend it. But that is where you would see the log, Nancy.
Okay. So we don't want to add our existing contacts into the new site now, because they'll all get mails saying they've been registered.
Yes. And one one way that we're doing that, just because I know it's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's been, I mean, with COVID and all of that, like, it's just kind of been a while since everybody's, hoorah and ready, is we are sending just a MailChimp email through the old portal, the old website with all of those contacts, and sending the new web page, and we haven't done it yet, but it's in our plan, is just sending the new website and saying, if you want to be involved, if you want emails, and be involved in loving Snoqualmie Valley, would you create an account? And so what that does is it kind of just puts the responsibility back on them, in saying, no, yeah, I want to do this. And plus you end up with, people who have moved or people who have new emails. And so that way, any account that you have on your new website is up to date and ready to go.
Question on the contacts. You set some fields up as being required fields, but when you go in to enter a contact, it doesn't indicate that they're required.
For on the admin side, we don't require any fields because you don't always know that. But for the user, they're going to be required. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
There you go, Jeff. Okay. So right now we have created a contact, we created an event, we created a project, we added sponsors, settings. Are there any questions from this side of things so far? Does everyone feel like they can create an event and create a project? Awesome. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to spend some time, or I guess actually I would love to know if you guys have any specific questions, either that you've run into or that you really want to kind of touch base on, just kind of in the rest of our time. Yes, Jay.
Okay, a couple questions.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I've liked to do, I'd like to have the events published. So the event's actually published, but the registration doesn't start till the middle of March, for instance.
Okay.
So I have it published so it shows up on the website. People can actually see it, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to try to sign up, it won't let them, at least this is what I've experienced. They'll act like they'll try to sign up for a project. When it comes to the waiver, it'll say there's an error or something. It just won't let them sign up because it's not ready to sign up. I'm assuming that's by design, and that's fine.
Have you checked, so within your event, so sorry.
So
Within
it's
your
showing
event
up on the
here.
front end because it's published,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not, but registration doesn't open till March 15th. So
Okay.
you can see it, you can look at it, you can act like you try to sign up, but it won't let you actually sign up. It gets blocked. At least this is when I figured this is how, yeah. So because the first thing it does is it has you sign the waiver, and it just shows an error or something. I don't know. There was something. So I assumed that was because it's not going to let you sign up for it. So.
Right. So if your registration isn't open, it won't let you sign up
Correct.
for the project.
Right.
But it shouldn't give you an error.
Yeah, like it was because it was acting like it was going to let me sign up. That was what was kind of weird, but then it wouldn't. So I don't know.
So John, correct me if I'm wrong, but would there be a way then to somewhere say like registration opens?
Yeah, it should be set up where it just hides the registration button. But I'll confirm that.
Okay.
I know, like mine, I have them all, or I had a few of them published because I do want to publish them all. I'm okay with people to see it. I just don't want them to be able to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want people to be excited, but
yeah. Which
yet.
city are you with, Jay, again?
Fullerton.
Fullerton. No, that's right. Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
The other thing I noticed is like there's no place where you indicate the time. So I assume that you have to put the time in the text that in the messaging of your, hey, our projects start at 9 o'clock. So show up on site. There's no, like for each of the projects, there's no time frame. You say it's going to last 3 hours, but it doesn't say a start and end time. Correct?
Yes, correct.
So it's just got to be in the body of it's got to be in your project description
Okay,
language.
okay. John, is it possible that we could add that? I feel like that would be good information to have on here, but
Yeah, the problem is every city functions differently.
that's fair.
Some want the start time, some don't, and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we've just found using the project description is the first.
Okay.
I would have that be the first line.
Okay,
Project
yeah,
starts
no,
at 9
that
a.m.
totally
meet
makes
there,
sense.
right, or whatever it
Yes.
is. Yep.
so Jay, so I would add that to the project description then. So up here, that way that's the first thing people
I have
see.
it I have it
Yeah.
in all mine. We have a schedule that we put in there. And,
Okay, perfect.
but I know it used to be, there was like a time frame that you had it. So, but it's fine.
Cool.
I do have
Question,
another question, but it's on the front end. So you're probably going to
Okay.
go there next.
Yeah.
Okay.
a question on projects. I know you can go in and copy a project, but I wasn't able to copy it from one event to another. So like our event is 2 days. We have a
Mhm.
Saturday, Sunday, and I can't copy a project from Saturday and put it on Sunday.
Interesting. I'm gonna create a fake event here, just to see. This week 2. Okay, so if we are in projects there. So this is where, what I was talking about before too. So you can toggle in between. So to go back to the river cleanup, you have to click on this. So now I'm gonna go. Okay. So let's go to river cleanup and look at what Nancy's talking about here. So you're not able to copy it into your other event.
Oh,
So I think so you'd have to
I was
toggle
going-
here and manage it. So I want it to copy into Love SV, the second one.
Mhm.
And I will copy, you can choose draft or published, copy project.
I see it.
Okay.
I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now I want to see it though in here too. And now you can see it has been copied into Love Snoqualmie Valley too. Cool. Okay. Any more questions on the city admin side? No? Okay. So I'm going to log in to my website. Now I'm gonna say this took me time to figure this out, and it was very, very helpful walking through everything with the documentation page. And I could say the same thing about the city admin portal, but especially on this front end side, that's really where I had needed a lot more of the help, and was able to actually make progress there. And so I want to know your questions on the front end, because that will be more helpful, just to kind of see where you guys are at, where you're struggling with, if you're like, I don't understand this at all, how do you even type anything? Then I can start there. So Carrie, you, yes.
The one thing that really frustrated me,
Mhm.
but I think I understand now, is that when I found in many cases when I went and did edits on the back end, they didn't show on the front end immediately. It seems like there's some kind of caching. Like
Okay.
I could see that my changes in edit mode, but they were not going live, and I would do it multiple times, and then poof, all of a sudden they would show up. And so I believe, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the changes are getting cached and they're not displaying on the live site immediately. So that was like a huge, beating my head against the
Yeah,
wall
yeah.
for long periods of time, trying to figure out why is it sometimes publishing and sometimes not. Is because some
Mhm.
certain amount of time had passed, and am I correct in my analysis of what was happening?
Yeah, a lot of times, especially with websites, your browser does more than of trying to preload websites, especially if it's a site you visit often. So when I'm doing website changes, I will open up a private window within my browser that's going to not pull any cache, any cookies from your system.
An
And so that
anonymous
should always be the latest version of your site. Yeah.
incognito. That's the word.
Incognito. Yeah, if you're using Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might save you all some
Yeah,
frustration.
for sure. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a question. I do. I have plenty, but in this moment,
Okay.
Love Orange's website on what we're looking at on your screen, Danielle, we
Mhm.
don't have the theme options. So you know where it has the little icons on the left side of the screen? There's
Yes.
okay, so move your cursor slightly to the
Yep.
right and down. See those three dark ones? No, move it up.
Yeah.
Those three right there. Love
Mhm.
Orange doesn't have that option. So
We-
I was trying to look for themes and fixing and just to try to start, and we didn't have it. So
Yeah, I just discovered there's a permission issue. I've got to go through each site and add permissions.
okay.
And so
Okay.
that should be done this week. You should
Perfect.
see it shortly. Yeah.
Okay. I also have other stuff, John. Sorry, whoever just cut off. I have
No,
other
no,
stuff
no.
from the whatever Danielle went back over for like project categories and stuff, but I'll email you just because we're having some like, why are these not showing up? But I'll
Okay.
email you just to let you know you're getting an email from me going, I don't know.
Jamie, I just I noticed that you see the little pencil in the lower left corner
Yeah.
under the DNN. I noticed that on some pages, those weren't coming up by default, but when I clicked on that little pencil, I got that left column. I got that column with all those menu items that you're
I'll try
referring
that.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll try
so
that. I haven't seen it. but
Try
I'll
that
definitely try it.
because that
Okay.
brought it up for me.
Okay, thanks. I'll try it.
And this is also been recorded too. And we went through a lot of the details of the admin portal too. Just kind of step by step, changing categories, adding projects. And so definitely give that a watch as well.
I tried clicking on the pencil and it didn't make any changes for me. And I think not having those theme things is what's preventing me from moving forward with the
Okay.
page.
That would make a lot of sense. Yes. John is on it. Cool. So what I want to do is just kind of a couple basic, like changing the picture, and just changing the font, and changing what's being typed there. And then adding a couple different modules and whatnot. You guys, we didn't have really much of an end time to this. Jeff, I don't know if you wanted a specific end time, but I'm just gonna go for a little while more here on the front end. And then if you guys have more questions, then I will meet with you. John can meet with you, but we definitely want you guys to feel like you can succeed on this because you can. But there's always hiccups along the way. There's a learning curve to a new website, as always. And so we want you to be able to feel like, no, I've got this, I can do this, and our city is going to look awesome. And so just kind of a side note there. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I just want to change the picture here. And so this little edit, this pencil button, will help you toggle on and off of just kind of your editing mode when you change in between pages. And so that it won't go away when I click on create account or volunteer. I'm just fully in the edit mode. And so right now I have this guy and I want to change the picture on him. And so I'll just hover over, and this icon here for background image, I'm going to click on that guy. And so you can upload files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, because that's what it told me to do. And I'm going to click on this file here that I just have on my desktop already. And I'm going to hit upload, and you'll see that it's uploading. Taking a second because I'm just in a closet here at our church. And so you can see there's other pictures that I had uploaded. But this is the one that I just uploaded. I'm going to click on that, and you can see that it shows up down here, and I'm going to hit set. So the picture changed. Yay. So that worked. And let's say I want to just make some edits here on the typing. So that truly is just toggling on and off, clicking on Inspiring the Snoqualmie Valley. So let's say I just want to say inspiring our community to love one another in practical ways. And you can change where excuse me, sorry. So again, it's just really typing there. Oh gosh, sorry everybody. And so let's say you want to change the font or something like that. So down here is this element box, and you can hit this gear, and that'll change kind of just how you want the spacing or the background color. Let's say I want it to be that gray. You can have a background color over that box, or you want to change the text color, and you can change that to, let's change it to orange. And so this is where you can kind of toggle in just kind of the smaller details of font or color, and things like that. And then, so let's move down here, and let's add, I want to add just something pretty here. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna hit add module. Gonna hit add module, and what you want to do is hover over this content builder. I'm just gonna click on that. What it's asking me if I want to leave page or stay on page, because I didn't save the color changes, but I'm just going to leave page because I want my colors to be back to what they were before I changed it. So here is that content builder. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop it, and it's loading. It's telling it it's there. And this is where that content builder ended up being. And so, so what I want to do is I'm going to click to add section, and it brings me to all of the different templates, layouts, in whatever you'd like to add there. And so you can toggle through. You can say, oh, let me just look and see which one I really like. Anyone there. And so I'm just going to choose this one, or services and expertise. And so as you can tell, it filled that in. And so now you have the chance to click and edit any of these text boxes. And so you can edit the text through there. And let's say you wanted to change this icon. You can actually click on that icon, just kind of like an emoji on your phone. And when they're loaded, they go. Let's change the icon there to that A. And then let's say you wanted to change your link here. And so like this is a button. And so what I want to do is I clicked on that, and again, I'm in edit mode, and so it's not gonna go there right now. And so what I'll do is I'll add the hyperlink, just like you would on an email. And you could type in that your URL there. And so it could be an outside site. It could be the link that you want to share of the volunteer page that you created. And so you can add that in there with the URL. And choose to open in a new window or just direct you there straight. But yeah, and so that's how you would add kind of just a new area to your site. And again, I'm not speaking HTML, a new pretty area to where you want to go. And so again, you can change the icons, you can change the text, and go from there. And let's say, like, the buttons are in the way. Get rid of that. Let's say you're like, you know what? I actually hate how that looks. Then you can just delete it. Are you sure you want to delete this section? Yes, I'm sure. So that's kind of how you add something like that. And that can be, I'm going to go in here again. And so here's some basic, and again, some, you can go into more custom, like I had saved a page earlier, or just any design that you really want to go from there. Okay. Any questions on that right now? Just kind of adding a section there.
Well, how are you going to go over? How did you change the very top of your
Yeah.
page?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can go over that next. So first, I am going to go over kind of how to make sure that these are in your heading. So this is kind of what we decided. We wanted our story, we wanted volunteer, create account, and contact. And so I'm actually going to hit save. And so if you go over here into pages, and what you will notice is, so the ones that are on that heading are all highlighted or bolded. And so that is because down here, display on menu is on. And so if I wanted our volunteer page to be off, I could hit off, save, and refresh, and you'll see it goes away. And so now I just have the 3 there. I'm going to add that back before I forget. So display on menu, yes, save, and then, okay. So the way that I changed the theme is in this gear or wrench. So, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, if I did this totally wrong, but this is how I did it. Is this wrench up here, and it's going to bring me into this place. And so
Wait,
what
wrench?
Yes, sorry, I'll go back. This one right here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So,
And
okay.
that is, it's essentially taking you to the back end of the back end. It can be a scary place, but you'll get through it. And if you have questions, ask John or myself. But yeah, so this wrench up there will help you change the themes. And so it opened up this page. And this is where you can decide where kind of what you want that the horizontal bar to look like. And so you can have the horizontal menu, which we'll go in and we'll edit that. You can drag and drop and say, I want our login user to be there. Or I want a search bar, and you can throw that at the top there. So I'm gonna,
I'm sorry. So
no,
when
you're
I
good. You're good.
little wrench, an entirely different thing comes up on my screen. I don't get what you're getting there. Is that a permissions issue?
I don't know. John, do you know? John?
I don't want to take the group's time up. Maybe I could just
No, you're
do-
good.
call.
Okay. No, I'll make a note of that, Nancy, and ask about the permissions. Is anyone else in there right now seeing the same thing? Okay. So you can change kind of just that menu there, but what I did to make it look different is actually this here. And so the theme is what I wanted to change. And so it's business 2. And so what I did was, so these are kind of just the examples of like what you're able to see, the header layouts. And so I went through and kind of just took a glance at these guys and thought, hey, I really like the look of business 2, which is this one. I noticed the logo was in the center with the menu options kind of just on the side. And honestly, I did this like I typed a couple different ones and then would just refresh my page and be like, no, I don't like that. Or then type in a different one, business 4, and was like, no, I don't really like that one. So this is kind of just, I think, preference as far as how you want your design to look. But I really liked the design of business 2 because again, it really just, it put Love Snoqualmie Valley right at the center, at the top as our homepage. And then with the menu options on the side. I just really liked the way that it looked. But that's, so that gear is how you get to that place. And then one second, and then you can, so it changes there, and then you can also do that in settings with theme options. So I went to settings, theme options, and then the layout is where you can change that as well. So John, as a default update, or it was all this app 05. So if I hit update, tell me to wait a second. And I think it'll change how this looks. So do you see how, oh, okay. I may be wrong on that then. I'm sorry. But the header layout there, and I believe it's because it's overriding, because I have that specific page as business 2. And so it's overriding and saying that's the layout that I want it to look like. Okay, so from there, that's how you would change kind of the menu layout, and how you change a picture, change the font, kind of just toggle between and saying, I want to add a section. But what are your questions now? Are there any questions? beyond that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining all that. It's really good. I watched all the documentation and videos, but it's easier and nicer when a live being is doing it in slower pace.
Yeah.
Can you add a page like for Love Orange? We might have like our story page. Like if we didn't have it yet, like can you just like I understand how to drop stuff in, but like when I was working on it last night, I did added the module, the BNN module, but I didn't know where to add it because it's like banner pane and then content builder pane and content pane. I'm like, which I don't know where to. So can you like just do a new page and just walk me at least me through that if that's okay?
I will do my best. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go into pages. And I want to add a page. And I'm gonna make the title, let's do sponsors. Now, I'm gonna just display that on our menu, just to get to it. Add page. I was doing a test one earlier. Let's just do test page. So I believe, and this is something that John and I on our call earlier, he's actually fixing. So automatically you get an add section into the content pane. That is not correct. So you want to add in the content builder. And so that's where, no, geez. Just, so you're going to go into that add module, content builder, and then drag it into content builder.
Okay.
And that's where, okay, I want to add a section. So let's make it pretty. I'm just going to click that one. And there's that. And then this would work the same as what I showed you guys earlier, as far as changing the font, changing the picture, and working through it there.
Thank you. I was getting confused because I'm trying to find an answer, and as great as the documentation is, when you talk to a live person, it's like, okay, can you just help me?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, thank you. That really helped a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough information for today. And again, if you guys have more questions, if there are more specifics that you want to go over, just send me an email. So it's Danielle at Love Our Cities. You probably have heard from me, if not Dave. And I would be happy to walk you through as best as I can. Again, I did not create this, and I am on the learning curve with you, but hopefully that's helpful. Is that I'm just a couple steps ahead of you, and being able to kind of just say, yeah, this is how you create a page. And yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Any thoughts, concerns, questions before I end the call? Jeff, do you have anything to say?
No, I do. Amazing job. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. Yeah.
For diving in like the rest of us. And none of us are website proficient. Like that's not what we do. That's not what we were born to do, maybe, but you have dived in and really helped us all. And so I mean, and certainly John as well. I mean, he's the one that created this thing. But we're more the layman in a way, we can interpret some of John's HTML language. So, but thank you so much. I will save this, well, obviously, and then send it out to everyone else. And I'm going to give it to my local team here as well, because this is just super helpful, kind of from the email, starting at the email, walking through, I think was super, super helpful.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Danielle.
You bet.
Thank you, Danielle. I'm sure I'll be calling you after I get those other icons.
Okay, perfect. I'd love to, Nancy. Awesome. Okay.
Have a great day, everybody.
Everybody have a good day.
Bye-bye.